excited because the science and technology and the quality.
Out here, the horizon runs straight and endless. The ground isn't dirt, it's salt. 30,000 acres of it, hard and blinding white. For 1 week each August, this place becomes something else. They call it Speedweek. The fastest machines on Earth gather here. Backyard hot rods, space-age looking streamliners, motorcycles built with precision, patience, and obsession. Crews come from every corner, chasing records on a 7-mile strip carved into the salt. It isn't a race against time. On the salt, the only thing that matters is the time slip. One clean pass, one number. And everything in between is pure speed, whatever your machine and your nerve can deliver. Bonneville doesn't promise you glory. Sometimes it gives you a record. Sometimes it gives you nothing but broken parts. But always, it gives you truth. That's why we come here. To measure ourselves against history, and ultimately, ourselves.
So we're running, it's a 1956 Elmquist Sabre body on a modified, I'd call it a Curtis K500 IndyCar chassis. It's been heavily modified. And we're running a Suzuki GSX 750 motorcycle engine built by Carpenter Racing and a Heltec fuel injection with a Garrett turbo. So all the controls run through the Heltec, from shifting to all the engine management. And it's a tiny little package, but when you look at the wheelbase to the width of the car, it's incredibly stable. We've got air dam, we've got fins on the back, so the car is incredibly stable at speed. I mean, it should be. And this is the interview before I run this car, and it's real fun to talk about it. But I've got to get through a few runs in this thing, and my whole view of this may be very different.
I met Tom through a mutual friend, Jeff Hacker, of Undiscovered Classics, and he ended up recommending Tom to me to help take his Sabre road car, bring it up to a caliber that Tom was looking for. Inevitably, somehow, Tom was interested in the H-Mod cars from the 50s that ran 750cc Crosleys. And the idea was, geez, what's 750 cc's and makes a lot of power? Because if you're going to come out here, you really, you need two things. You need a lot of power, you need reliability. And the Crosley is not either of those. So that's how, and I think Tom actually ended up suggesting a bike engine, and then once we started looking into it, it looked like, wow, I think that'll actually fit into the car. And then the rest is history,
John's just this master engineer builder. We've got this amazing little car that's nothing's ever run out here like this. And it all came together, so here we are. And it's been 2 years to build this car. And 2 years of John going back and forth, me sharing ideas. He's master engineer. I provide a lot of kind of lunacy and crazy ideas. And we slowly work through it. And there's we've had our tough conversations too, because and this was a 1-year project that turned into a 2-year project because it had to. The reality is to build a car that can do what this car does, it just takes time. He's a one-man show. I could have hired a team of 10 people and they could have built the car probably quickly, but you end up with hodgepodge work. This is, 2 people with a vision working together, and the logistical, the engineering, the problems to solve to make a 750cc motor work in a rear-wheel drive sedan that's as small as this. There's just no room to easily do anything. Every single piece of this car is custom made. Once we got here, I saw the car, you know, it's beautiful, we're all excited, but this is the first time this car has run here. And we've got to go through technical inspection, and as a first-time car here, it's no joke. All right, so we're pulling the car into tech inspection. John runs J&J Performance, he's my builder. He's stressed about this. I'm pretty confident. We've built a very good car, a lot of attention to detail, I mean, everything from the quality of the welds to just the level of completeness for the build. I think the techs are going to respect that. There are some things we don't know, and there may be some little tweaks here and there, but this is the final step on our journey to take the Class J record. You know, the people that run this, SCTA, they're very serious. Their number one thing is safety. And so we got the car, we take it over to tech, and these guys go through this build with a fine-tooth comb. And during the build, John's calling some of the technical advisors, asking questions. There's emails, probably hundreds of emails going back and forth, making sure we did everything. He actually brought the chassis out here last year to have them just look at it and say, are we on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, I had been in communication with Steve Davies, the chief tech chair, for a while, and I asked like a ton of questions, you know, probably too many, and he set me really on the path of like, this is where you want to be, this is which, you know, give me a bar here, do the, you know, put all that stuff in the cage, and he made it much easier on me, you know, and thankfully, and was super good at communicating and let me know what's going on. But as far as like being in the tech line, yeah, I was like, okay, how much of what am I going to have to fix?
John, it's been 4 or 5 months. Your blood pressure has finally come down below 150.
Yes.
No, you know what? You built a hell of a car, and these guys love it.
Well, they haven't found anything wrong yet.
No.
So
They said
except for I guess tape the headlights and some rubber piping around the seat.
On the seat, yeah. No, but the nuts and bolts of this thing are.
So
It's
there it is.
It's just
All that hair
it's a
pulling.
brilliant little build. So let's go put some power down and crush a record.
Coming out of tech was a relief. All they needed to do was tape up the glass headlights and cover a few sharp edges with protective piping. For a crew expecting the worst, that felt like a win. But once the tape was down and the tools were back in the bag, something shifted. They looked up and really saw where they were. This wasn't planning anymore. This wasn't talking about Speedweek back home. This was Speedweek. For real. Their number was on the board. Their lane was waiting. And the next step wasn't theory or preparation. It was the first run.
All right, guys, this is it, first run. I'm excited, man. This is. It'll be a little scary, but we've done everything we can possibly do to get this thing to roll. We've got a great team out here, and it's just time to deliver.
A rookie run is the first step for anyone racing at Bonneville. Before a driver can chase real speed, they have to prove they can handle the salt, follow the rules, and keep the car under control from start to finish. The SCTA looks at that first pass as your license test. Run it clean, keep your line, shut down exactly where they say, and you license up. Which means you earn the right to go faster on the next run. Every driver starts here, no exceptions. Before the big numbers and record books, you've got to earn your stripes on the rookie run.
So typically out here, land speed race, you know, it's like a drag race, but you've got 3 miles, right? It's not just a quarter. You don't have a lot of traction. Matter of fact, very little. So one of the things to do is when you want to approach your really high top speeds is you change the rear differential ratio up, you know, numerically low. You use the push truck, which is just a truck, typically a you know, type 4-wheel drive if you can get it, but you know, people use all kinds of stuff out here, it doesn't matter. With a big flat bumper thing on the front, and you start pushing the race car off, you get him up to 25, 30, 40 miles an hour, and then he dumps the clutch and takes off. And right off the bat, Lee Kennedy, he came right over, he says, "Now that I don't like that push bar you got there." And and it was just a rented truck, so we came up with some cobble together thing, and he says, "No, just get in the truck, I'll push him off first time around."
But Bosek, he can tell him, but that's why I'm trying to show you. And when I push off, I'm a 2-foot pusher. Okay, so one on the gas and one on the brake.
Okay.
In case the car does one of these, I just hit on the brake. I don't want to continue pushing the car around. Right? Because this has a lot more mass than that.
Yes. Yep.
Right? So if it continues to roll and he's sideways, then it's not good.
All right, so we gotta come up with some sort of push bar solution
Right.
here.
John's got one that
like
you can do pretty quick with the local hardware.
Yeah, just take a 2x8.
Put it across there.
Just put it up across those two support braces on each side.
Oh, just so we don't have those hooking.
Hook-
You
It's
don't
the
want
hooky
those
thing.
things.
It's the hooking part?
If this truck or the car swerves,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
gonna-
I believe you. It was the very first time I had ever been in the push vehicle to push a car off at Bonneville. And fortunately enough, I got to do it with somebody who has apparently quite a bit of experience.
The push truck launched forward, and the car quickly heaved up to speed. But the gear never grabbed. Tom couldn't get first to bite. The car stayed in neutral, coasting to an awkward stop just a few hundred yards off the line. Not the roar they hoped for, not the run they wanted. Just a quiet, extremely humbling start to their week on the salt.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm here.
We got no shift.
Yeah.
We're not going to first gear.
Is the CO2 bottle on?
It should be. I never shut it off.
If it leaked.
There's no way it leaked now. There's no, unless it just developed a leak.
Yeah, because there's nothing. It
Just nothing?
nothing. No, nothing. It didn't do anything.
There it is.
Why do you do
You're
that?
not waiting long enough.
Okay, so I gotta hold it.
Yeah, it's not.
I was doing that. I was doing
You
that.
just gotta wait a split second and it'll shift.
Okay, that's my bad. All right, guys, driver error. Well, you didn't tell me. I'm used to paddle shifters on a freaking Porsche.
The race official was able to get them back up to the start line quickly. No time to think about the first attempt. No time to let nerves settle. Just one more chance to get it right. This time, the gear found its home. The engine pulled, and they were off.
And he went a blistering 58 miles an hour, I think was the first slip, yeah. So it went.
The next morning, after a late run to the lumberyard for what felt like the very last scraps of wood in all of Wendover, the crew finally had what they needed to fix the push bar. They spent the early hours cutting, fitting, and bolting everything back together exactly the way the inspectors wanted it. By the time the sun was just starting to lift over the flats, the car was patched, checked, and ready to roll.
It's very simple what they're doing. We tow in, get the car set up, and we basically just get in line. And it's first come, first serve. You do your run, go back to your pits, you do any checks, you want to run again, you tow back, and you simply get back in line. Theoretically, you could get in line after every lap and just do laps. The line right now, I'd say probably is 45 minutes of launching cars. I'm assuming by the end of the week, this is going to be a lot less as the week goes on, as people get the numbers they're happy with. But it's a time to sit and reflect on it.
With the morning air still cool, John punches the ram dually. Tom drops it in gear, and finally, things start to look up.
Pull the data, check the car over real good, get it up on the blocks, probably take the tins off the bottom, check it over real good, do a gear swap.
Is this a tow strap?
Yeah, this will be a tow strap, then we'll hook it back up, and then we'll see about towing it all the way up to line up today for tomorrow morning.
So yeah, so on day 2 we had a little bit of power in the car. It still wasn't making boost. We pulled, got 107, I think 108 run, pulled the chute, drove off the track and followed procedures, boom. No longer a rookie, so we got that out of the way.
Well,
God damn, I'll tell you what, she ran well. There's a lot more to it. We got very little boost, but it is unique, man. There's nothing, I mean, I've raced cars, I've done a lot of neat things, but there's something, it's just you, man, and there's nothing out there. But the car ran good, it's stable. You're getting a little, on the salt, it's just not wiggly, it's just kind of floats, but it's set in. There's a lot more here. There's a lot more here. I did miss the shift coming out of we launched in first gear, and it came up in first pretty quick, and the turbo came in a little bit, and my hand I blipped the second gear at about 7,000 instead of 11. That gave me, I think we would have had probably 110. We got 108.
Yep. 108.378 out to 2 1/4.
All right.
With the rookie run behind them and a strong time on the board, the crew set their sights on going even faster. As the day faded and the wind picked up, they swapped to taller gears, trading acceleration for more top-end speed, and retuned the engine to match. With everything set for a bigger push tomorrow, they headed out to lock in their spot for a first light run the next morning.
All right, so we're out at the start-finish line. It's about 6 o'clock on Monday. We're staging the car to be one of the first runs tomorrow morning. We want to get a good run in the cooler temperatures. And as it works out, we're the only guys out here. So we've got start-finish line to ourselves. We did our first, true run with the car, not up to power, very low gear ratio in the back, just to get the engine tune checked and really get data on the engine. We pulled 108 miles an hour, which was, the car is going to go much faster, but the data was good. So we've swapped the rear gears. The class record is 111 miles an hour. This thing is a little rocket, and keep in mind it's a 750cc motor, so the motor, it's a tiny little motor, and it's a real challenge to get an engine this small to produce the torque to move a car. I mean, the car weighs 1,800 pounds, but still the engine's designed for a motorcycle, so it's been a lot of work. But running tomorrow morning, we'd like to shoot around 118 miles an hour tomorrow morning, and we'll get that on the books as a record. They're going to impound the car, check it over. We've got to do a second run to lock in that record, and then we're going to change the gears out again. We're going to up the boost a little bit and start working up. All right, it is Tuesday morning. We're out here early. We're about the 5th car out, and this is our first legitimate shot at the Class J record. I think we're going to go past it pretty easily. We've got the boost up to 15 PSI. We're still running a short gear in the back of the car. We want to make sure we can develop power. We want to make sure I can get the turbo to develop boost. So we're going to, based on how this run goes, we're going to look at changing a few a few things in the wastegate, and then we may drop the gears in the back and go for some serious speed. But we're set up this morning, man. This is exciting.
Crank it, yep.
Vehicle on course now is car number 302. This is a J Blown Modified Grand Touring 111.744 class record. Tom Kubiniak is driving.
Come on, tell me the speed.
Two-mile speed, 88.722.
Damn.
John, I never got past third gear. No power. No power. No boost. The boost never moved. And
Did you keep adding any?
I was up at 8. I racked it up and never moved, so I kept going in second gear, and it was just taking forever. There was a moment when I was at like 11, almost 12, where all of a sudden it felt good, and the minute I shifted, it was running smooth. But it's just, again, I never got past third gear. I shut it down early. There just was no reason to.
Yeah, keep going. All right.
So why don't you pull your data?
I think it needs more. The coolant's only 150.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just hang tight, right?
Yeah. I'm really trying to let him run his show because, you know, I'm very vocal with my opinions, and I can be very overbearing with my opinion. Yeah. Every run we've made, it's never changed from 3 PSI. But we're out here, and I didn't want to tell John what to do because for me it would have been guessing. And he said right away, he just said, Tom, look, this is a chess game. It's not a game of checkers. Whatever we're doing with it, it's not doing anything.
So don't pick it up.
And I didn't, you know, if he asked my opinion, I'd give it to him. I really wanted to let him be the crew chief, let him make those calls. And every run we made, we were improving. I'd give him all the feedback I could on what was happening with the car when I drove it. And but pretty much I let him do his job.
What we need to worry about is getting a better. Look, my belief right now, ignition timing. I think it needs more timing in it. Because what's happening is you're making peak cylinder pressure, like.
But I'm not getting the the power out of it.
Too late.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Too late, and it's not driving the turbo.
Right.
Okay.
So we get back to the pits, and nobody's happy with the performance of the car, but you know, John's got a confidence about him. He has been here before, and he's saying, Tom, we just got to work through this. And we've got, you know, Sean Christensen, our tuner. You know, at that point, Sean's on a plane. It was kind of entertaining because John's downloading the data from the car. We're using a Starlink to send it to Sean, who's flying on a plane. He's going through the files. Sean's the whiz at this stuff. He's really good at it. And then getting information back to us. And Sean provided a lot of information.
I think that's the smartest way to go about this, because obviously something with the valve, it's either the valve's not broken, the wastegate doesn't seem like it's busted.
No, I
so
agree.
it doesn't.
Yeah, maybe the solenoid's not outputting ultimately, right?
I mean, I tested it, it buzzes.
No, I know it buzzes, but I'm saying it's not like outputting. Whether it functions or not doesn't matter. It doesn't output.
Yeah, correct.
So,
Sean Christensen is he's a Haltech specific tuner, and we have a Haltech Nexus R5 on the car that does all of the engine management, power distribution, the whole 9 yards through one dedicated ECU like situation. So Sean got involved honestly because Tom, and I don't have like really any social medias, and Tom does, and he started asking around in the Haltech Facebook group, like, hey, who can help us out with this project? And Sean, unfortunately, much to his unknowing at the time, said, yeah, I'll help you out. And the next thing you know, now we got him roped in and, you know, did just a stellar job with very little data. Did not get to a dyno beforehand. You know, we came out here just really totally unaware of what the car was really capable of. Pleasantly surprised, but, you know.
We're not able to produce boost with the using the computer, using my controls in the car. Okay, using my controls. So we are we changed the springs in the wastegate, so now we've got guaranteed 10 psi, and having the psi boost may get me the servo controls to dial it up. We're not 100% sure on the fuel map given the higher boost, but if the engine runs well, we should turn 118 or so. We'll see how it goes. Yep. It's a learning thing, man. It's a learning thing.
The crew had fallen into a rhythm. Run the car down the line, limp it back to the pits, pull the data, and fire it off to Sean, who, by the way, was somewhere up in the sky tuning from an airplane like it was the most normal thing in the world. He'd send a new map back, they'd load it in, and return to the start for yet another pull on the great white dyno. After a few rounds of that, morale was starting to dip, and then, like a gift from the heavens, they heard it. The unmistakable jingle of an ice cream truck creeping across the salt. Exactly the kind of mental reset the crew didn't know they needed.
Oh, wait. Are you filming? All right, guys, so made a lot of changes. Got a fueling issue still. We're getting closer. This is a post-frustrating run ice cream. Sometimes you just gotta eat mango. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you guys. Bye.
What would we do without this music?
I know her.
Maybe it was the sugar, maybe it was the brake. But right after that ice cream stop, something clicked. The team finally had a breakthrough.
Well, we had a big aha moment when our exhaust gas temperatures were running too high. And they'd been running high, but we didn't know. Because we don't know motorcycle engines, it's hard to find that information. Another racer said, yeah, no, you got to get those down around 600. We were running 12. So we made changes in the timing. We advanced the timing of the motor, which brings exhaust gas down. And in doing that, our next run wasn't a very good run because the engine leaned out. We realized when we had the really high exhaust temperatures, the software in the engine was trying to push more fuel in to drop those temperatures, that's all the computer can do, but it's the wrong thing. So we realized we had, because of some settings that we had just because of lack of experience, we had the computer basically trying to drive the engine incorrectly. And another racer had stopped by and offered some information about timing and boost levels. And we made those changes, and that just made all the world in the difference. It turned the car into a race car. All right, guys, it's Wednesday morning. We did 3 runs yesterday. Each run was not a good run in the performance of the car. However, we gained a lot of data. We also spoke with a gentleman who runs the same motor in a streamliner, and he gave us some ignition data, and he gave us some good, solid information. So we made a lot of changes. Our last run, the engine leaned out. We were able to look at the data. We know why it leaned out. So now we've got a fuel map that should produce power. I'm pretty optimistic we're gonna get a solid run. We might not get the record this morning, but the car should give us, we got 10 pounds of boost. The car should get us down the track pretty well.
It's the last stretch of Speedweek, and the teams never looked better. Rested, tuned up, and locked in on a qualifying pass, the air at first light feels charged, like something big is on the table. Once John shoved Tom off the line, Tom dropped it into gear and disappeared down the course. As the guys headed up the return road to meet Tom at the 3-mile turnout, all they could do was wait, listening for the results to break through the crackling Speedweek FM station.
302 is a 1956 Almquist. Almquist was a kit car back in the 50s. Powered by a 750cc Suzuki engine. Tom Kubinek is from Cazenovia, New York. John Petrucci is the crew chief. Charles and Colton Kubinek are crew members, along with August Peters. I guess you're Colton. And the sponsor is Security Tactical Incorporated.
Dude, he's going, man. He's really going.
The team from that vehicle wants to stop by the radio station and give me the correct pronunciation of Tom's last name and the name of your sponsor. Would help.
He's
so I can be
going, man.
correct on those things.
Is this thing on?
This car was running in an open record at the beginning of this meet, and I'm not sure if they have established a record in this class yet or not.
Where'd he go?
It says here records 111.744, so I'm assuming that that was their record that they set earlier.
Shoots out.
Well, guess what? They're running over the record already. Mile number 2 was a 117.533. 117.6 at the quarter, slowing to 110 at mile 3. So 117.533 is the qualifying speed on this run. Congratulations. Take that baby to impound.
Fuck yes. There it is. That's the best 117 miles an hour I've seen ever. God damn.
What we get?
117.
All right, baby, we are live at Bonneville. We just set the new record, guys. Oh, Johnny, she's got a lot more. She wouldn't pull past 95 and 5th.
Yeah, leaning out. I heard it.
Yeah, it would not pull,
Still
man.
wants more
We've
fuel.
got 125, 130 in this thing. Holy shit, guys. I think my mute is on. Oh, I think I was muted, guys. Hey, we're at Bonneville. We just made our first pass of the day. We have a new class record. We just broke the land speed record, Class J, modified roadster, baby.
Qualified.
So we've got it. We qualified. We've got to back it up. But man, she fucking goes. Oh, sorry guys, she goes. Hey, so you know what? Stick and stay, man. We busted our asses to get this one. Holy shit. You know, I felt good. And she took off. It still shifted. I had a hard time getting into second. And I'm finding that it's shifting better when I short shift a little bit. But I got the 5th gear. It pulled 4th gear so hard. I got the 5th and it wouldn't, you could hear it leaning out. It wouldn't pull 5th gear hard, but it was up to 117 so fast. And if we can get 5th gear to work, we're 125, 130, easy.
What do you mean if you can get the revs to come up?
Right,
Oh, yeah.
No, the gear's working. We are just not, we're just probably a little lean. So, you know what, it's you just work so hard. Fuck yeah. Now let's get 150. All right.
Running over the record doesn't make you a record holder. Not yet. At Speedweek, it sends you to impound, where the car is checked, sealed, and parked overnight. You get a maximum of 4 hours to prep for the next morning's return run, and the SCTA averages the 2 passes together. Only if that combined number beats the old mark does the record become yours.
They impound the car so that you can't modify it. You can't do anything to it. Your car has just set a record. So what they're doing, you've got to make a second run. The following morning, if we set a record on Wednesday, Thursday morning, we have to do it again, and it's the average of 2 times that establishes the record. So we get into impound, and it's very formal. You come in, they mark the time, they put a sticker on our car. We have 4 hours to work on the car. That way, if we've got some issues with the car, something happens, because some of the cars during each run, they've got to go in and do things to the car because you're burning stuff up. So we had 4 hours, and we downloaded the tune, and sent that to Sean, and we made
As John was wrenching on the car in impound, everything felt routine, quiet, focused, almost calm. Then a race official walked up, pulled Tom aside, and dropped the kind of news that makes your stomach fall through the salt.
So we ran a record qualifying time this morning, 117 miles an hour, and we got into impound. We got to duplicate the run. We have to run again in the morning, We got disqualified because of a error in our paperwork. And the tech came over and he walks up and he goes, Tom, did they go over paperwork in your working orientation? I said, no. He said, they didn't talk about paperwork? I said, no. We talked about track safety. I went through all the stuff we went through. He goes, they never mentioned paperwork. I said, no. He goes, well, here's the problem I've got. There's an engine code and a body code, and they were blank. He said, this is a hard fail. I have no wiggle room. And in the form, when you fill it out, it's a paper 3-part form. You're putting in all your information that I put in my class, my body class, and then it's got a box and it says computer codes. When I saw that, I assumed, oh, computer codes, they probably fill that in. So I left it blank because I had no paperwork that referenced computer codes. He said, look, you're about the 10th driver that we've had this problem with. So we get all the paperwork together. I go over to tech to fix it. We fix it on all, it's 3 pieces of paper, and one of the other techs is pulling out the book with the codes. And I said, look, if you guys would simply remove the word computer from the form, I think you'd do better, because I see computer code, I think that's something you do. And he kind of arrogantly pulls the book out, opens it up, and shows it to me like, it's right here. And in the book, this is the book that I use, it says reference codes. And I go, that says reference codes. I had no way of knowing that these are the same thing. It never occurred to me. And that guy got that big. But the other tech that was with me was like, he was basically, thank you, we're gonna get this cleaned up, because we've got a car that we did 117, we probably got 125 in it. We still weren't making boost well, so we're gonna run again. And I'm hoping that the sanctioning body will do a little better job. The barrier to entry to get in here, there's so much stuff that we just don't know, and it's hard to get information because they really don't have a website. It's just old school. And they've been doing this for 77 years and they never really changed. So maybe we're a team that, as we go through this, we come back next year, maybe we can be one of the teams that bring some technology. I mean, I've ran tech companies in the past, and I've done a lot of work like that. Maybe we can help them get modernized. But anyhow, we're gonna run again. We ran 117. I'd like to see 125. I really think the car can do it. We had some issues we found in the tune after we ran. It was, as we said, it was the world's fastest shitty run. So we're gonna run again, and we're gonna crush this thing.
This time, Tom let it rip down the track. And with that first qualifying run, DQ'd over a paperwork error, still sitting in the back of everyone's mind, the crew heard something they never expected come through that crackly FM station.
Needing a 111 to qualify. Well, that was coming into this race. Have to check that. Anyway, the speed, mile 2 was a 126.729.
Whoa!
130 at the 2 1/4.
130.
And mile 3, 133.
133. Jesus Christ. So we just they had us at 133 across the mile. We ended that run. I was 141 miles an hour. That was a crazy ride. I think it's time for a really good cigar, and I might get crazy, have a beer. That's really good, really good. 133 in that tiny little car with that tiny little motor. That's a statement. This is what we wanted. We had to beat 111, and desperately wanted 125. 133 is just,
give me one of these.
It's just the time.
Give me one of these.
With an even stronger qualifying speed of 133, the guys found themselves back in impound for the second time that day. Spirits were high, the car was running right, and they used their 4-hour window to prep for the next morning's return run. With the work done, the crew headed back to Wendover for celebratory beers and a well-earned cigar. Here at Speedweek, once you post a speed faster than the official record, you earn the chance to make a return run the next morning. Qualifying teams line up at the entrance to the Salt and wait for officials to open the flats. Then the impound cars are paraded out to the start line and given first shot at the cool morning air. To break a record, the SCTA averages your qualifying speed with your return run. And if that combined number tops the old mark, congratulations, you're officially in the books. With the Class J record sitting at 111 and Tom's qualifying pass at 133, the math was simple. All Tom and the 1956 Almquist Sabre had to do was stay above 90 on the return run, and the record was theirs. Easy on paper, but out here on the salt, nothing's guaranteed.
Come on, baby.
As Tom rolled up to the line, you could feel the weight of the moment settle in. The car was ready, the air was cool, and for the first time all week, everything felt lined up in his favor. From here, the story shifts to the push truck, to John and the crew, following Tom down the course, hanging on every word from that crackling FM call. Because this is how a record is lived, not from the outside, but from the seat next to the people holding their breath.
This is Tom Kubinique, I guess is how they pronounce it. Nobody has ever stopped by to tell me. Tom ran at 133.913 on a 111 record. This is the J Blown Modified GT.
Oh, it's sounding good.
2-2 coming up next on course number 1. Tom Kubinique.
Listen to it come alive.
Cazenovia, New York. This is a 1956 Almquist car. Almquist was a kid car, a sports racing car of the day back in the 50s.
Okay, so the way we have a credit tire on the track.
Vehicle number 302. This is the little sports racer I was talking about. J Blown Modified GT. His mile 3 time was 141.821.
That's it!
And yesterday at 133.913, so he's got a record.
That's the record.
Gonna be about 138 maybe, 137.
Fucking A.
Just making a rough guess on that, so Tom Kubinique.
Oh, baby.
Puts a number in the books. That's a beautiful little car. I got to see that for the first time this morning in Impact. An Almquist. It was a popular sports racing car back in the 50s.
What'd they have me at?
I don't know. I had the radio off. I have no clue.
All right, so I hit the rev limiter in 5th gear. I actually slowed down into the rev limiter, so we ran a good time. Still struggling with the shifting. I had to use the clutch. Yeah, what do we have, John?
Not sure the record here. Not sure what mile he did.
John,
141 out to 3, baby.
John, I was into the rev limiter in 5th gear for the last third of that mile. I was decelerating coming out.
It was a fucking good run.
It was a good run. It was. So
a little more gear in it.
One more gear, but I had to use the clutch to shift. You heard me at the start. I go, it's not shifting. I put the clutch in, I shifted it, and it double shifted. So I had that same hesitation. You're going to see the video of the telemetry at 11,000. This thing doubles in horsepower. But it's still. I haven't looked at the fuel. We're breaking up a little bit still.
It's all right. Room for improvement, man. We know there's going to be room for improvement. We're good.
When you listen to the video, the engines, it just changes. Everything changes. You know, it was just thankfulness that I was really happy for John. You know, I wanted to set a record, but really, I wanted to do it for him.
I'm a mixture of a bunch of things. It's like time to go to work, and it's also, been a 20-year trip for me to get a car out here to get a record. So it's pretty monumental. you know, and I wouldn't have been able to do it or be part of it if it wasn't for Tom and his unbelievable stupidity to think that this was a good idea. But I think it's great. It worked out really good, and we're gonna take it back to impound for record cert, and that's it. We'll give it a go again, see if we can't bump it before the end of the week.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
141.82 out of that little car. Boy, that's a big number. That is a big number. Here you go.
No time for celebration. With a potential record in hand, the next stop is inspection. And for that part of the process, John, the crew chief, is here to explain.
We're going through record certification, and currently what they're doing right now is they're going to measure the volumetric displacement of the engine. They want to check the bore and the stroke. They have their own sort of tools to specifically do this. They want to make sure that basically the engine is the size that we say that it is, and that's it. You know, obviously I didn't build the engines. We wanted 750s. You know, Carpenter's is the one that built the engine, so that's what we got. So we'll see how it goes, man. Should be all right. They pull the plug. They have this sort of device that goes in, and it goes into the cylinder, centers up in the plug hole, goes into the cylinder, and spreads out. And so, as far as I know, spreads out, measures the bore size, and then we have to bump the motor a bit to get the piston at bottom dead center, I believe, to measure the height in some fashion. Stroke.
Stroke deck bridge on there. We're gonna put this down at bottom dead center, okay? And we're gonna mark it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then as we come up, it'll stop, and you'll see the turnaround. Then I'm gonna lock it, and then I measure that. That's your stroke measurement, okay? Okay. 137.8. Okay.
Bad for a ship box.
With the trophy in hand and the record certified, Speedweek was already a success. But the team wasn't done. Not yet.
We just got through certification, and we now have the established record, 137.8, and that is officially on the books, which feels really good. So we're going through the car now. We are going to change the rear gear, go a little taller. We're making a few tweaks to the fuel map, and kind of the shift. I'm still struggling a little bit with the shifting because it builds up power, and it goes so fast in the early gears. So we're going to change how the shift programming works. Make it a little easier for me on the shifting, because if I miss the gear, if I miss it and it gets to the red line, it's very difficult to shift. So, because even with the record runs, there were some misshifts in there. We closed out that last run at 154 miles an hour. So we came into the trap speed at probably 133, went out at 154. Our average across that mile was 141. So there's a lot. If we get this right, I do think we can post a 150 plus time. We're going to make a run this afternoon and see what we can do. We got the record though. It's the level of stress and the emotional level of the whole group now is just good. It's a big exhale, so it feels really good. And hot dogs and later this afternoon a good cigar maybe, and kind of start taking more notice of our scenery.
The guys knew without a doubt the little car had plenty more left in it. So instead of celebrating, taking photos, or calling it a day, they went right back to work. Rinse and repeat. Telemetry off to Sean, a fresh tune in the computer, a new wastegate spring, another gear swap, the chute repacked, and the Sabre headed back to the start line once again.
So we've got the record locked in, and now we're just gonna call this a fun run. We put a taller gear in the back of the car and made some changes, and This is just a relax and just let the little Sabre just let her run and see what she does. So this is going to be the run for the Sabre to show off to us. But
she starts singing after 12 grand.
Dude, what did Sean say? To start making jam?
I'm gonna start making some jam.
And boy, did it make jam.
Man, he's fucking cooking, dude.
Oh, he's got I guess, unless they want to correct me on that.
Cooking.
When you come to pick up your time slip. Let's see what the fastest is that car has run, yeah?
12 speed, 163.0.
Holy fuck!
Quarter mile, 140.450.
163. Did I hear that right?
Wow. They really got that thing working now. 163 at 2 mile.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to look at the times that 302 has turned in so far.
Okay, looks like he's slowing down, so top speed is 163.00 in the 2 miles. Congratulations, take it to inbound.
Jesus fucking shit.
Pull our own record out of the water.
We just took our record and fucking annihilated it. What is it?
Look at it.
Charlie, I shut down the last quarter mile of number 2. I'm like 175. Yeah, that thing's bad.
You rookie this year?
Yeah. That's my 3rd license.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Hey, motherfucker! John, she shut down the last quarter mile of number 2. I was decelerating hard. I'm 175. In mile 2. It went through.
What do you mean it's shut down?
I hit the rev limiter. I tried to come off.
In 5th?
In 5th, and I couldn't get the throttle. Once I hit the rev limiter, it was red. When I came off, I couldn't get it to reset. I don't think it mattered, but we need a taller gear. We're gonna go 180, maybe more.
I'm gonna fucking cry.
Holy shit, dude. That's unfucking real.
You don't fucking say.
Look at, John. John, let's put this in perspective. Okay? I want you to think about these numbers.
I saw it. I read the fucking slip. I know what it says.
What it doesn't show you is, I came in at $140. They gave me $163. I was decelerating for the last quarter. Well, look at the data.
I want to see what the fucking. You say 175. I want to see what that fucking GPS.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't read it. Oh, John.
I want to see what it says on the data.
At this speed, this is the first time I'm driving.
Oh, she got wiggly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
baby. But the track is good. It's just.
She's hunting around.
No, you don't fight it. Just
we watched you go the whole way with the little.
Yeah. No, it's just if you can't. It's almost just let it run, and as long as she didn't drift too far.
Yeah, you drive with your ass.
Yeah, just
steer with your ass, man.
It's like driving in snow.
With a blistering, almost unbelievable 163, the guys were on cloud 9. And that number didn't just feel good, it sent them right back to impound. 4 more hours to work on the car, and one last return run waiting for them on the final morning of Speedweek.
Oh my God, 172. He went 172 miles an hour. With 14.9 PSI in it.
Oh.
Oh my God.
All right, so we got 172.6, and I ran out of gear in mile 2. John, and I'm at the rev limiter. I'm at the rev limiter at 172. If you black that all up.
You made 15 pounds boost.
But John, I want you to think about this. I did that halfway through mile 2. Halfway through mile 2. We get the gearing right on that car, I think we're going to be close to, we'll be 190, close to 200. I really think we do.
Fucking way.
You keep saying that, but John, I'm telling you, this thing it pulled. I mean, I've not driven a car that has gone like that. I mean, my car, I've got a 427 Corvette that when you're on it, but that's more ferocious. This was more finesse. But it's like dancing on the salt. I let it go, let it track. We were moving back and forth a little bit, and it felt like you were a skipping stone on water, just going.
That evening, with one record already certified and another record-shattering qualifying run fresh in their minds, the mood in Impound felt completely different from before. The pressure had eased, the smiles came easier, and the guys took some time to enjoy their surroundings, soak it all in, and make phone calls to loved ones back home.
It's been a long week. It's been an exciting week. Car has surpassed my expectations. Flying colors. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that this little thing would hit 172 out the back. That was pretty phenomenal. It's been rock solid. No real mechanical issues at all to really worry about. We're just gonna drive it again, kind of easy today. Put a little more gear in it. Sean did a little more of his magic computer work, right? And we'll just see how it goes. She's starting to get light on us, so we know we're right at about the limits of the aero and the speed package the way that it is currently without us making some changes. So that's it. Give it a go.
This was it. One last run on the famous salt flats. One last shot to push past the record they'd set the day before. With most of the teams already packed up and gone, the crew settled into their familiar spot at the start line. And as the morning light stretched across course 2, Tom was off.
At 6,000, you start breaking up. And then I let it come off. I tried it again. I downshift, I short shifted the second, and then it hooked up and it just took off, but it never did what it did yesterday. It just.
I hear you.
It's all right.
Fuel correction thing.
What was our time?
So we're in an impound.
We did up the record. That's right. Once I got back on it, I was like,
your speed was 117. So they're averaging 163 and 117, and you still
I think I crossed the 2 at 124 to 127.
Yeah, you did, but 2 1/4. Yeah.
All right, so we did up the record, not by much though, right?
Yeah, they like 140 something. So we're 137.8 to 140, whatever.
So 140 is respectable. That's what our goal. My goal was. I said I want to do 140. All right, so that's it for the weekend, boys and girls. I'll tell you what, she didn't run the way we thought she would this morning, but it was a good, safe pass. There's some wind out here today, and so we did well. We did really well. What a weekend! What a crazy weekend from our first push where I couldn't get it in the first gear. We just pushed and stopped to 88, 98, 107, 131, 143.
Forgot 117.
Yeah, 117, and then we did 163, but we actually maxed out at 172. So you know what? We got a lot of time to play with this now. So we'll get it dialed in. We're gonna wind tunnel it, add some weight to it, and next year we'll come back for some more fun.
Tom's final run of the week came in at 117. Not as quick as the day before, but solid. And when you pair that 117 with yesterday's 163, the average lands just over 140 miles an hour.
How you doing?
Doing great, man. Good morning. Good morning.
Congratulations.
Good morning. Well, thank you.
Oh, you guys are.
She didn't make jam this morning, but she ran.
Speedweek has a way of changing people. You come out here thinking it's about numbers, about how fast you can push a machine across an empty stretch of salt. But somewhere between the early morning cold, the tech line chaos, the busted push-offs, and the crackle of that little FM radio, you start to realize it's a whole lot more than that. It's the long drives up the return road. It's the scramble for parts in a town that barely has any. It's late-night gear swaps, fresh tunes from Sean, the man behind the curtain that keeps squeezing power out of every pass and turning raw data into real speed. And the way a crew can go from drained to determined at the sound of an ice cream jingle drifting across the flats. It's the quiet moments in the push truck when nobody's talking, but everyone's hoping. And it's the roar of a run that finally hits, the one where everything clicks. This week, Tom and the little 56 Almquist Sabre earned its place in the books. They fought through a DQ, came back swinging, and put down a record that'll sit in Class J until someone else comes out here with the grit to chase it. But in the end, the real victory wasn't the number. It was everything around it: the salt, the people, the struggle, the laughter, the setbacks, the breakthroughs, all the moments that stitched this week together. Speedweek doesn't hand you much, but if you show up, put in the work, and take whatever the salt throws at you, it'll give you a story worth telling. And this was theirs.